Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Snowfall Season 4, Episode 8. Let's get into it. So this episode was explosive. All the internet, any like rumors you were hearing, a lot of things was coming into fruition with this interview. The episode picks up with Reed in Nicaragua, and he's in the forest sniffing cocaine. Um, Somebody hits him over top of the head. He wakes up. A woman uh, was standing over top of him, tied him up, wanted to kill him. But he mentioned his contact person, and she knew who that was when she took him to the location. A woman had passed. So then the woman pretty much felt like he was telling the truth. And so at that moment, she let him go and he gave her some money. Meanwhile, the story hit big. Irene launched the article in the paper. They're getting all this attention. She's excited that her story's getting out there. This is the defining moment in her career. However, you're dealing with the government, so the paper is already from the gate like, but this is as far as it's gonna go. You're going against the government here. And she like, nah, we supposed to keep pushing. Problem. So everybody around town is talking about, well, we know Franklin Saint is the man, so they must be talking about Franklin Saint in this article. That's his plug. That's how he getting the money. That's why he become untouchable. So Fat Boy's funeral's coming up. So what happens is Alton shows up to the house to speak with Franklin's mom, pretty much telling her we can escape, we can take a flight to Cuba, take our money and go about our business. Meanwhile, he pissed a bug in her ear when she was getting ready to leave. In the last episode, they donated like $250,000 to a church. They gave the money back. They don't like the heat, the tension that's going on. So that's pitting her further to get going. Meanwhile, you got Jerome sitting in front of Franklin, and he's pretty much, they all having a word saying what we gonna do. Reed ain't getting back with us. Jerome is still upset that Franklin never told him. Now Franklin, basically, he gets upset with the team. Like, I always took care of us. I always figured this out, and that's what I'm going to do in this one. And when stuff hit the fan, I'm gonna step in and take a bullet like I always have, or whatever. And so basically, he was like, if y'all don't got nothing constructive to tell me how to proceed from here, then stop ragging on me or whatever, pretty much. So at that moment, Lloyd was saying we shouldn't go to the funeral, Fatback funeral, because they got a bounty for us. So he pretty much told her, like, you up in your castle, you can stay here. Meanwhile, I gotta go here and show these project jokers I'm down or whatever, pretty much show my respect. So you already see where this is headed at this moment. You have that situation happen. Meanwhile, you had the government showing up to Reed's warehouse, and of course Reed's not there, and the guy's like, hey, I need to go upstairs and get some stuff out of the office. And then Gustavo was just sitting there reading the article. He ain't saying nothing, pretty much. So the guy goes upstairs, it's locked. He said it's locked, man. Gustavo pretty much just like, hey, well, don't you got a key? Well, if you ain't got a key, it ain't meant for you to be in there. So when dude went to go back up there, Gustavo pulled out his gun and he didn't really look at him. He just cocked it just to let him know I ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? So at this moment, you looking at this situation, you like, well, dude, you definitely gonna come back. What Gustavo gonna do, or whatever. So dude does eventually come back. When he come back with his boys, when he comes back, Gustavo's going and he emptied out everything. So that was smart play on Gustavo's part. You just don't know where Gustavo went from there. And when Reed came back, of course the warehouse was empty. He spoke to the CIA dude that he worked for, and he was like, man, there's some stuff going down in Nicaragua, and pretty much he like, we got bigger stuff. And then Reed finds out what happened with the newspaper article. Meanwhile, the government came in at the newspaper. They shut everything down. Told the newspaper, "Hey, we need to speak to you." And so it shows Irene met up with Franklin. He pretty much was like, he didn't tell her the story was true. He just was saying, if the story is true, what you think's gonna happen to you? So he read off the name of her husband and the name of her daughter. And she was like, "You leave my family to F Oliver." And pretty much he was saying, you coming at me like I'm the one that's gonna hurt your family. This ain't just about you. It's gonna be them the one that's going. They coming after everybody. So he had to put that bug in her ear. You knew soon as this uh, story hit, you know she's out of here or whatever. So that night, she called her husband up and gave him a bunch of stuff. You don't know exactly what he gave her, but she gave him, because it was another article that she wanted to launch, but she didn't. So she gave him a bunch of stuff. And so she's pretty much saying, "I gotta go off the grid for a while." He was like, "Well, listen, just come stay with me, and till you figure out." And she was like, "Nah, I told you I didn't want to," because she sent their daughter over there on the East Coast, and she was like, "Nah, I don't. Well, I told you I want to get y'all in on this. I want y'all to be part of it." So he told her he was proud of her, and she said she thanked him, and you knew this was the last scene. You knew she was out of here. You knew this was the last scene she was gonna have alive or whatever. So of course, in the middle of the night, um, uh, Reed showed up after he met with Franklin, and Franklin told him that. So let me speed. I sped up too fast. Let me run it back. At the funeral, of course, Lloyd gets shot by Khadijah and her girls. You already seen Jerome walk in the hospital, the pictures of the internet. You know Jerome is gonna go off. You know what I'm saying? So you got T early in the episode. She met up with Man Boy, so you know that was Man Boy's play. Send T to act like she liked Franklin to get information from him, and so the play was he got her brother, and she's supposed to get some money, and so if she get the money and get the information and the plug from Franklin, then he'd make good on his part. So he put the pressure on her. I need this information now. So after Louis got shot, she's after surgery. T is putting the play like, "Yeah, well maybe y'all should just get a plug up to Man Boy. He about his money." So Franklin act like he was down, but you could already start seeing Franklin looking at her weird. You already seen Leon looking at her weird, like, "Yo, what this B doing around the family?" You know what I mean? She just came on. Why she know so much information? So Franklin called Peaches, and Pacey told Peaches go get the car. He went and told T, "Yo, go make that play with Man Boy or whatever and set it up or whatever." So you seen that. So fast forward back. When Franklin met up with Reed, he told her that Lloyd got shot. And he was heartfelt because him and Lloyd, you know what I'm saying, he had the time to get a rapport with her. And he told her, basically, telling Franklin he needed to put a muzzle on his dad. And he said, "Can you handle that?" And he said, "Yeah." So you seen that. And of course, then you show Reed show up in the middle of the night with Irene. He put a needle in her, basically told her that you gonna wake up, you never gonna wake up again. So he gave her something basically going, kill her in her sleep or whatever, make it look like she, her heart stopped in the middle of the sleep or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you seen that situation happen, and then from there, T goes home, called Man Boy, pretty much, "Yo, he gonna give you the plug information, and make sure you gotta back down your sister though, because of whatever." And she was like, "Make sure you get my money." And then she said, brought up her brother, and then she was like, Jerome and all them talking crazy, so they coming for y'all. And then she was like, he was like, "Well, let them come." Man Boy was like, pretty much, "Let them come," or whatever. They're gonna get themselves killed, or whatever. So she goes and sit down in the chair, and when she goes and sit down at the chair, Franklin is in the living room. He heard everything. He in there with Peaches, and pretty much says, "T, And she looked shocked, like, oh, stuff. And he's like, basically, how long you been playing me or whatever. So, and it goes off at that moment. So pretty much that's the rundown of the episode. And of course, Franklin mom now at the hospital, she was pretty much saying, I need to get gone. And he was like, well, Alton? And then she was like, nah, I don't need to get in between y'all. I just need to get gone on my own. And he pretty much like told her hold off until he get back or whatever. But of course she didn't wait till he got back. She bounced on her own. So you don't know what's gonna happen with that situation. But the previews for upcoming show, Jerome, he pissed because he like, I'm ready to go get these jokers. And Franklin shows back up to the hospital telling Jerome, y'all need to stand down because you gonna get everybody killed. And then it shows Alton again. And I think how this is gonna play out, Franklin gonna kill his dad. I think he gonna, in my, foreshadowing, I see Franklin gonna kill his dad or whatever. And the previews do show Jerome meeting up with some people in the street that they get busy. So it's gonna be interesting how that play out. But somebody's not leaving. Either Aunt Louie is gonna die in the hospital, or Jerome or one of them gonna get killed before the last episode. In my opinion, there's 2 episodes left, so. Snowfall doing their thing. Salute to them. Bouncing back. Season 3 was kind of a dud in a sense. They bounced back hard. Writing was good on this. Just feel like it's like HBO, like on something on Showtime at HBO. So it's back to that feel like it had in like the first season and then part of season 2. 3 it kind of fell off. They bounced back with this season. So kudos to the writers for putting their brains together and really putting it down on this season right here. And subscribe to the channel. Definitely like the video. Subscribe. Comment if you into the Snowfall. Till next time.